gonna say it. Like, I don't know why I'm holding back. Sometimes, well, let me speak for myself, I struggle with wanting to have sex. And this podcast is called Celibacy and Singleness. So how does that make sense? Hi everyone, welcome to this podcast, Celibacy and Singleness. This is Monica Bellamy. Thank you for watching on whatever platform. It really means a lot. And thank you for all your support and thank you for listening. So let's get into this topic. I just want to talk about reality and expectations around dating and singleness and whatever era you may find yourself in. Right now, I am currently single, and it's been about that for like 3 years. And the truth of the matter is, it's not easy being single when the popular or the cultural norm is to be in a relationship or multiple relationships, or single but dating people without, official relations. And I just want to give you, like, all honesty, the truth, or at least what I'm experiencing. It's not easy for either situation, whether you're dating or you're not dating. However, I do experience moments where I'm like, oh my gosh, like, I can't handle this. Like, I'm tired of being single. When can I find my husband? When can I date? When I know God has purposely called this season for me to be a singleness. For how long? I don't know. And that's the part where I have to wait and not have a grudge. Because I'm just like, wow, I want to take those cute pictures. I want to be on vacation. And it's all about what I'm feeding myself. What am I looking at? Sometimes that's why I really go on a social media fast. Because I just see so many, like, couples. And nothing's wrong with couples. But that's just where I have to be intentional about guarding my heart and my eyes. Because that can be a distraction for me. Sometimes a hindrance. If I know right now my season is to be in a healing era, so I can be, dating in relationships and marriage, then I need to go through my course. Like, I need to do what I need to do and what's necessary and not skip any steps. So right now, I would say the reality is that sometimes you dread being single. You dread waiting. You dread even the name of being single, because it's not a fun name. It's like, are you single? You're like, yeah. Like, you need to learn how to say that with confidence. But sometimes people expect you to acknowledge that you're okay with being single, but that's not the reality sometimes. And on this platform, or this podcast, is to embrace all areas of your life, whether you're dating or you're not. And to just create that space to where we can build one another up in whatever season we are in, and to encourage one another. And so I just want to encourage single ladies, single men, or whoever, that sometimes we have seasons in our life where we want to rush it. And I want to say, don't rush your process. Even if you're dating and you want to be married or you want to be engaged, like, learn how to be present. Like, stop wasting your process, because your process is what creates progress. Like, it's going to lead somewhere. Sometimes we're always in a rush to be in the next season that we miss what God's trying to teach us now. And if I can be honest, that has been a struggle for me. I'm always the one who likes to be an overachiever, to want to be the next level ahead. And it's hard for me to be present in my today. So focused on my tomorrow that I miss my today. The expectations of singles is that they're always going out, or they're always with their friends, or there's someone who is not a homebody, or sometimes they are. And the reality is that it looks different for everybody. And the reality is sometimes we don't go out as often because we're so stuck on being in the house or focus on other things. And I just feel like, to be honest, singleness is where you can get your purpose clear and have a better understanding of your goal and your direction in your life. And I don't know. But the reality for me is that I've been trying to work on going out more, because sometimes I like to do compare and contrast. That's my method I use. So if you're married, don't think you're going to be going out all the time. I mean, you can, and that's to each your own. But when you're married, you're going to be working on other things. You're going to be focused on your spouse more. And so I don't want to neglect the opportunity that I have. It's just taking advantage of that. So the reality is that I'm pushing myself. My goal is to be out more in the summer. I'm actually going to go to Disneyland tomorrow, so that's something that's big for me. Hey, reaching out to people, you know, just taking advantage, because I don't want life to pass me so fast. And I forgot to live in my singleness. Like, you don't want to, like, miss out. Like, I don't know if that makes sense. I'm just saying, like, a whole bunch of things and, like, different, like, thoughts, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm saying different I'm saying the same thing over and over, y'all. Like, please forgive me. So, I guess the reality is that sometimes we don't enjoy our life because we think we're going to enjoy our life more with someone else than with ourselves. And that's kind of what I said in the previous episode about learning how to enjoy your own company. Like, why can't we have the same fun or experience with or without our partners? And it should be to each your own, because your spouse cannot be the reason for your happiness. Like, learn to have happiness or joy with yourself so you can have it with someone else. Because if you're miserable already, how much more will you be miserable with someone else? Like, people are not going to replace what you're already missing, or like people can't heal you. Oh, that's what I'm trying to say. Like, it can be a part of your healing journey, but they cannot heal you completely. That's false. That was one of my misperceptions or expectations of a relationship, and that's not true. So my next theory, I guess what I would say, is an expectation versus reality is that sometimes I'm gonna be honest. I told myself I'm gonna allow this to be a platform of transparency. I'm a practical Christian. I don't have a problem speaking the truth to others about what I want to say, so I'm gonna speak my mind. To each your own, of course. The reality is that singles, even Christian singles, struggle with temptation. Or, okay, I'm gonna just say it. Like, I don't know why I'm holding back. Sometimes, let me speak for myself, I struggle with wanting to have sex. And this podcast is called Celibacy and Singleness. So how does that make sense? I'll give you a little bit of backstory. I have been sexually active in the past during my youth due to, rape and molestation. And so I was pretty promiscuous in that way, but your girl got delivered, and God has set me free in that way and helped me to abstain from sex. So that's a little bit of backstory. So, however, I do struggle with the temptation to have sex, and I just posted a video about oh my gosh, it's my third year of celibacy. Like, I can't believe it, but praise God, because this is something I couldn't even imagine, and it was hard for me to even stop on my own. But of course, when I met Christ, He has helped me in so many ways. So that is, I don't know if it's an expectation, but I think people will think like singles don't struggle with this, but they do. And for myself, I do. I'm just gonna admit it here, and I guess this is where I can just feel free to say that. And I don't know why, but this temptation makes me want to settle and rush out of my singleness process just for a selfish moment. And I'm like, how could I struggle with this temptation? And I'm trying to help people, but I can't act like us humans don't have desires and wants and needs. And this is a need for whoever, because it's created by God to have sex. So sex is not wrong, just when it's out of context. And so sometimes I have guilt for wanting to have sex, and I'm a woman, and sometimes women don't talk about these needs or wants, or they don't even admit that they have a sexual drive or sex drive. But I will say that we do, and I know there's many women out there struggling with this as well. And it should, I don't want to say a norm, but it should be okay to talk about this in a safe space. So I will say that, like, that's the only down effect But it's worth it because I'd rather wait and abstain from sex and even deprive myself until I find that person who I know God has called me to be with, to share myself in an unimaginable way, and to fulfill this desire that He has placed in each and one of us. So it's just like feeling like a long haul of waiting. It's like, oh my gosh, can this person hurry up so I can just get what I need? And I want to be like feeling like I'm just like a starving fish out of water, you know? So it's just something that I feel people do not know about, or probably know but don't say. So I'll let y'all know. The next expectation I feel that are placed on dating is that you are going to have so much sex. And I don't know if that's true. It's just something that I've heard. But during my research class for marriage and family, I found out that sometimes marriage couples do neglect sex. And I was like, what? You've been single all your life and now that you're married, y'all can't have sex? So I was just a little bit mind blown about that. And I don't think it should be the biggest priority, like number one, but it should be on top of the list to have intimacy. But it's really funny that intimacy is the lowest form because it cannot last that long. And intimacy can be emotional, mental, and physical, of course. And it's important to have all three of those forms. And it helps your marriage to be impactful and long-lasting. And that's something that I just thought was good to know, or something that should be said. But the reality is sometimes you won't be having sex all the time. But that could be different for each person. But I think that's something that should be said for people who are interested in future marriages. Anyone who's interested in being married, like, y'all need to know that, get your plan, like, what's, like, I don't know, but this is kind of going off topic. Like, you need to know what you want, what you don't want. What are your boundaries? What are you okay with? What are you not okay with? Are you okay with oral? Are you okay with anal? Are you not? Like, this is something people don't think about, but they should, because when it's time, when it's finally time, you have to have a conversation about your boundaries. You have to have a conversation about your wants. Both spouses, not just men, but women, because women need to be okay with what they want and what they don't want. It's like, this is a partnership. It's 100 and 100, not 50 and 100, not 50 and 50, 100 and 100. What you put in is what you get. So if you don't communicate already once it's time, like in premarital counseling, what you do want, what you don't want, then that's going to become an issue later on. So let me prepare y'all. I feel like I'm just preparing Christian singles. I'm preparing the single women, ladies, for that time. So I'm going to put y'all on, because I know what I know, that y'all need to communicate what you want, what you need. Put it on the table, put it on the plate. Are you okay with this? Are you okay with that? If not, moving forward, that's enough of the sex talk. Let's keep it casual. Let's keep it classy. Let's keep it cordial. So moving forward, a last expectation I would say is that everything you do together, this is relationship aspect, everything you do together is going to, I don't know, be happy and fun and exciting. Not that it isn't, but reality is that this is going to be a relationship. This is going to be lifelong. And sometimes the fire will burn out because this is someone you're going to be with. So not everything is going to be fun all the time. It's like once the fire burns down, the reality kicks in. And the reality is not that everything's always fun. You can make it fun. What I'm saying is that don't get your hopes up too high, expecting it to be Disneyland 100% of your life. And there's going to be hard times, there's going to be hardships. Everything that you experience in life, that's going to be impacting your marriage, and that's going to be done together as a partnership. Your spouse is going to have problems, your partner's going to have problems. Like, there's going to be problems in marriage. So what I want to say is that don't expect a struggle-free marriage, because anything that doesn't have struggles won't have growth. So it's about you two and how you're going to manage and resolve all of this and what you bring to the plate, and even your trauma too. So that's why it's important during your singleness to do that work as much as you can. Not that you're going to be 100% healed and free, but it's important to just do some diving, because you're going to be putting a lot on the plate together. So I love y'all. I want to leave you with this. Please stay tuned for the next episode. And if you're not, please leave me a comment down below and make sure to like and share this with a friend or a Christian single. Thank you. Bye-bye.